Hello, beautiful people. It's good to see you. I don't have my stuff all the way together. Let's get this podcast started. Hello there. How are you doing? The issues with StreamYard seem to have finally been fixed after they sent me an email this morning saying, we had a system-wide outage last night. No kidding. And yet your status page said, all green, go, the whole time. Could have saved all of us this exchange by just having that updated. That's a hot cup of coffee. Anywho, I hope you all are doing well. Hello, it is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. Hit the like button. Share this live somewhere. Are you on social media? Because I'm not. So go ahead and share this live. I'd appreciate it so much. Boy, oh boy, it's Tuesday, okay? Right? Yeah, it is. It's Tuesday. We made it past Monday. Congratulations. We're in it together, fam. We're in it together. Oh boy. We are here, gathered on this day, despite the fact that apparently I'm being shadow banned on YouTube. We're just going to keep plugging along until, it changes or the channel dies. We'll see what happens, We are here gathered on this day to once again talk about these two biscuit head men who are in jail in Florida in August. They are in the midst of the very beginning stages of extradition proceedings. Okay. And, oh, yeah, you can scroll through the lives and see. I'm lucky to get 100, 200, 300 views on something during a live versus several thousand. I can't really attribute it to anything because everything here is the same. So that's just what it is. Anyway, as I was saying, these men are sitting in a Florida jail cell, very upset, crying in the club, okay? They're in the beginning stages of extradition proceedings, okay? The UK requested that the Department of Justice and the State Department begin the process of extraditing these men, and in that process, hold them in jail. So that is what has happened. They were arrested. We all saw, okay, the clothing choices that they made that day. So I'm trying to think procedurally here. Let me get my mind to focus on the proper docket. They were arrested. The United States filed paperwork on the docket. We read it, okay, to look at exactly what it was they were being extradited for. They're facing a total of, I think, 59 charges now, including images of a minor that you shouldn't have. Okay, we're just going to leave it at that. And despite the fact that one of their attorneys works in the Trump administration, they are getting no favor. Okay, no favor and no assistance from the Trump administration to stay in the United States. Meet the bug. Hello. Is this not a chair? Hello. Alex. Hello. So an interesting thing happened at the end of last week. We didn't have a live about it because I'm not trying to promote these men or their biscuit head ideals, but they are clearly crying in the club. So Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, or as I like to refer to them, Cersei and Jamie, have asked the court to please join their cases together. They miss each other. They can't stand to be apart from each other. I mean, look at them. you know? Always, quite literally, always together. Where there is one biscuit head abusive man, Andrew is definitely Cersei. Amended, hello, beautiful, says, which one is Cersei? I thought about this long and hard. Andrew is Cersei. Tristan is Jaime. So, since they're very lonely in jail and they can't be together and they're clearly going through withdrawals and crying about it, have their, friends or paid staff posting for them on social media as if they are themselves posting in jail, which they're not. They're clearly frazzled and completely breaking down and desperate to be with one another. And the only legal remedy is to join their cases and then, argue step by step that they need contact with each other, okay, while they're in jail to meet with each other and their lawyers. I don't know. I'm just saying, when I think about, a pop culture reference, this is the one that I come up with given our previous discussion about my thoughts on their relationship. So they have asked that their case be joined, and they have also said, why are we in jail? We don't need to be in jail. You should let us out of jail. We're going to motion to get out of jail. So they did. They motioned to get out of jail. And as a result of that, 3 whole countries have united against them in court to keep them in jail. And that's what we're going to look at today. We've got a couple things. We've got what is filed by the United States, and in what is filed by the United States in opposition to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's motion for release pending extradition proceedings, we get not one, but 2 documents. Oop, these are not in the proper order. Let me try that again. We get not one, but 2 documents. God damn it. From the Romanian court. Let me try that again. We get not one, but 2 documents from the Romanian court, and we get one from the Brits. So 3 countries have united to say these biscuit head men need to stay in jail, and we're going to tell you all the details as to why they should stay in jail. So that's what we're going to read today. How y'all doing? I appreciate those of you who are here joining me in my little shadow ban world. There's over 30 of you. I hope that you will hit the like button to support the channel. That is very, very helpful. And lets people know that we're here and that we're chatting for subscribers who are interested in the AFL content. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Cersei is older, and Cersei and Jaime were twins, right? Weren't they twins? Or am I misremembering? I feel like they were also twins, but I could be wrong. Just nasty. So we're going to start with. Oh, I know. I synced the show. Cersei was definitely in charge. And that's exactly why I have Andrew as Cersei and Tristan as Jaime. Maybe he'll lose a hand or an arm. Maybe his dominant one, the one he allegedly chokes women out with before assaulting them in their own homes. I'm just saying, we'll see how far the analogy goes. Well, hello there, beautiful. Welcome to the land of the shadow ban. Hit the like button. Help us break free. The United States, in executing its treaty responsibilities and acting at the request of the government of the United Kingdom, responds in opposition to the combined request of the fugitives, Tristan Tate and Emery Andrew Tate, collectively the Tates or the fugitives, for release on bond pending a hearing on the certification of extraditability pursuant to the law. Andrew is charged in England with a total of 42 charges, including assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, arranging or facilitating the travel of another for exploitation, controlling for gain, distributing indecent images of a child, and making indecent images of a child. Did he use grok? What do we think? Did he take an indecent photo himself, or did he use grok to schmexualize somebody? Honestly, it could be one or the other. It could easily be one or the other. Hello, welcome to everybody who is watching. Hit the like button. Help more people see this live is happening. Oh, I almost forgot one. Okay, so indecent images of a child, making indecent images of a child, and possession of extreme pornography. Tristan, aka Jamie Lannister, is charged in England with a total of 17 charges, including intimate assault, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and arranging or facilitating the travel of another for sexual exploitation. The Tates are also charged in Romania with similar offenses to those in the UK, as well as influencing witness statements while they were detained and on release conditions in Romania. The Tates were arrested on July 18, 2026, pursuant to a provisional arrest complaint that was based only on a limited subset of the charges they are currently facing in the UK. It is expected that the UK will continue to provide additional information about the other charges in its formal extradition request due to the United States next month, September 16, 2026. That's the main thing that I've been waiting for, but we still got some things, so we're going to go through what those things are. Yes, child, it's nasty. They nasty. They nasty. They nasty. Look at them. Nasty. Oh, the numbers are starting to climb. We got over 45 people here. Let's go ahead and slap the like button. Mods, what's the ratio? Also want to say a special shout out to the members, subscribers, and supporters, the folks that support the Docket Fund and make this ish go. You're exactly why we're here this morning, looking at these nasty documents related to these nasty men. The Tates, who are dual UK and US citizens, should be detained pending their extradition hearing because they cannot overcome the strong presumption against bail in international extradition cases. The arguments offered in their motion for release fail to demonstrate lack of a flight risk, lack of danger to the community, or any special circumstances to justify release, either individually or cumulatively. Now, we did not read this document again because I don't really care about these biscuit heads and I'm more interested in the responses to them. But I read it. Okay. We didn't read it here, but I read their request for relief and it's fanciful. Okay. There's a little bit fantasy up in there. Okay. Um, Magical thinking, revisionist history, downplaying of severity, like all of the things, right? Um, so So there's that, but it is interesting here to see the United States government saying affirmatively they have failed to demonstrate they're not a flight risk. They failed to demonstrate that they lack a danger to the community, and they failed to demonstrate that any special circumstances could justify their release. We've been over this in Diddy, when Diddy tried numerous times to get out of jail. We covered pretty much every filing in that and every hearing, and, got down to the specificity of what is required to overcome those exact same things. So they're trying to do the same thing, and this is the United States government saying they don't even come close. Hey, beautiful people, help us get those likes up. Appreciate you. Hello, gorgeous. The serious pending UK charges involving human trafficking and violent assaults and assaults against multiple victims, together with the recent Romanian charges alleging that the Tates interfered with and attempted to intimidate witnesses, present a clear public safety concern. That the Tates also claim to maintain multiple passports and identities, have access to excessive wealth and influence in numerous countries, and are stridently unwilling to voluntarily return to face prosecution in the United Kingdom, collectively demonstrate a heightened risk of flight that no amount of bond could overcome. So, all that I'm big and bad talk that you do in your videos and on social media, that's not going to work out for you so well when you try to convince a court. It's fine. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Scout's honor. The government has obtained documents from both the UK and Romania that provide more background on those countries' respective proceedings. Specifically, the UK has submitted a letter dated August 10, 2026. This was filed last night. While we were live, as a matter of fact, I said, "Oh, I think a bunch of stuff just hit the Tate docket." So this was all yesterday. So, letter from the UK dated August 10. We're going to look at it, which supports an order of detention and provides additional details that are relevant to detention, including evidence of the Tate's unwillingness to return to the UK, their possession of multiple passports to facilitate travel, and their financial means to facilitate flight and evasion, among other things. Romania has also submitted two letters dated July 23 and July 27 for the court's consideration. Romania describes their ongoing criminal cases against the Tates, which notably includes recent charges of witness interference based on alleged conduct that occurred while the Tates were detained and under judicial supervision in Romania. Below, the government sets out its current understanding of the procedural history of the UK and Romania charges against the Tates, as well as facts from those proceedings that are relevant to the issue of detention. We've talked about all of this before, but this is them kind of going through the history. January 19, 2024, UK issues warrants for both brothers. Andrew was charged in the UK with 10 counts. Tristan was charged with 11 counts. According to UK authorities, at the time of the alleged criminal conduct, the Tates ran an operation in the UK and Romania where the women they recruited, referred to as cam girls, performed acts online for subscribers in exchange for money. It is alleged that the victims engaged in commercial acts for the Tates as cam girls. The Tates are also alleged to have committed forcible assaults with strangulation on more than one victim, who have described struggling to breathe while their assaults took place. By the time the charges were issued in the UK, the Tates had moved to Romania. Andrew Tate posted on social media May 2020, "The UK government tried to destroy me. I was arrested in 2014 and the case dropped, but they took my phone and laptop and raised 11 new cases. This is when I moved to Romania. I had an apartment in the mountains already paid for, with money inside. Thank fuck I thought ahead." The admissions there are so staggering. Aside from the I fled, there's they took my phone and laptop. And after that, there were 11 new charges against me. Really? What was on your phone and your laptop? Rhetorical question. We know the answer. In another social media post from December 2019, Andrew Tate wrote, England froze my passport and bank about 3 years ago. It's all unfrozen now, but it didn't matter anyway. Romanian passport, jumped on a plane, bye. Banks, 18 countries, my friends. Hard to kill, above the law. Above the law for anomaly. Hello. Above the law. You said that, beloved? And you want them to trust you? You want them to trust you to let you out of jail and you gonna come back to court and all that stuff voluntarily. Boy, bye. You gonna be in a food container just like Donald Trump getting smuggled out of the country. He went on every podcast. He went through the Wendy's drive-through. He went on his own social media. All they've been doing is can't touch me, can't touch me. I think somebody's touching you now. Okay. According to Romania, the Tates were charged there December 2022 with various offenses related to running an organized crime group and human trafficking, including trafficking minors. The Romanians allege that the Tates' criminal conduct took place between 2014 and 2022 against a total of 46 victims, including minors, and involved in part various forms of psychological and, in certain cases, physical coercion exerted on the victims, consisting of intimidation, constant surveillance, control, emotional blackmail, threats, and other means of pressure for the purpose of intimately exploiting them. This is exactly right. This is rule number 2 behind no capes. Okay? If you're going to be a villain, you need to check your monologuing. Move in silence. Think. Think. So, arrested on charges in Romania December 30. Damn, right before New Year's. I bet they thought they were going to kick it. I bet they thought they were going to kick it that New Year's Eve. Probably had the bottles purchased, the women purchased, or, tortured, whatever, already all lined up. And you went to jail the day before. And then they remained in custody until March 2023. And then they were placed on house arrest. They were released from house arrest August 2023 and then placed on judicial supervision. While under judicial supervision, the Tates were required to comply with several conditions, including not to approach the other co-defendants, the alleged victims, or the witnesses in the case. While under judicial supervision on the Romanian charges, the Tates were arrested on March 12, 2024 in Romania for the purposes of possible extradition to the UK based on those UK charges. Romania promptly granted the UK's request for extradition over the Tate's objections, finding, among other things, sufficient particularity of the UK's charges. The judge in Romania said this about extradition to the UK. The objections raised by the defense of the requested person regarding the lack of clarity in the description of the accusations are unfounded, since the criminal activities in consideration of which the British judicial authorities are requesting the surrender of the requested person, Tate Emery Andrew, were presented in the arrest warrant in a succinct but explicit and comprehensive manner with a concrete indication of the circumstances of time and place in which they were committed, as well as the manner in which they were committed, sufficient information being provided for their legal classification. So basically, they tried to say the UK wasn't being clear enough about why they wanted to extradite them, and Romania said, poppycock. No, we don't believe you. We've looked at the paperwork. We processed the paperwork. You got a copy of the paperwork. They were very clear. So, pursuant to Romanian law, the court postponed the Tate's surrender to the UK until after the conclusion of the ongoing Romanian domestic case. On February 25, 2025, the prosecutor removed the restriction that prevented the Tates from leaving Romania, citing in part the considerable delay in the Romanian prosecution. And again, the condition of release precluded contact with alleged victims and witnesses and other co-defendants. By letter dated January 23rd, 2026, Romanian authorities state that the Tates have fully complied with the obligations imposed on them, appearing in response to all summons from the judicial authorities and complying with the measures ordered on each occasion. However, notwithstanding Romania's confirmation that the Tates appeared for Romanian proceedings as ordered, Romanian authorities allege by a letter just a couple days after that one, Romania said, wait. We should have also said that the Tates took steps to influence victim statements between January 2023 and July 2024 while they were in pretrial detention and then when they were on house arrest. On July 3, 2026, approximately 2 weeks before the Tates were provisionally arrested in the United States, Romanian authorities announced that they had brought new charges against the Tates. So in Romania's second letter, uh, they present the facts underlying the charges for influencing witness statements. They say that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, while held in custody in pretrial detention, as well as subsequently after they were placed under judicial supervision, were aware of the charges against them during criminal procedures related to the case, blah, blah, blah. Interviews of the victims were conducted in order to gather evidence, and consistently, the defendants took steps intended to influence the victims' statements. Therefore, Andrew and Tristan attempted to persuade or did persuade the individuals being interviewed not to make any statements related to the case, to make false statements, or to retract their previous statements. They resorted to acts of bribery, consisting of offering money and property to the victim, as well as acts of coercion, manifested through threats and the unauthorized disclosure to the public of documents and information regarding the private lives of the victims and their family members. These actions were intended to expose the victims to a wave of threats and online harassment through numerous intimidating messages, including death threats sent by supporters of the two defendants. These messages significantly affected the victims' privacy, safety, and mental well being. And if you will recall, this is Romania now, but if you will recall, in the UK, they actually filed a court action to try and force the Crown to tell them to identify by name the victims in the UK cases, and the Crown said, "No, you can't be trusted with that information. You're definitely going to do some nefarious shit if we give you that information, and you don't need that information at this juncture." So the answer is no. And good for them. Okay, so now we're back to the UK. Following the UK's initial 2024 charging decision, They continued to investigate both of the Tates and announced last month that they had levied additional charges and obtained new warrants of arrest for both defendants. As a result of those charges, Andrew Tate is now charged in England with a total of 42 charges, including assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, arranging or facilitating the travel of another for exploitation, and so on, as we discussed. And now Tristan is charged with a total of 17 charges. These involve 7. People have been saying it's just 2. 2 is too many, you idiot. The total of the charges against the Tates now involve 7 different victims of violence, including and or trafficking. The offenses of and trafficking for exploitation both carry a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. According to the United Kingdom, the position faced by Andrew and Tristan Tate is considerably more serious than it was when they were arrested in Romania, potentially including discretionary life sentences or determinate sentences in the region of 20 years imprisonment. Dearly beloved, what prayer can we pray? What prayer can we pray? Get Sierra on the line. Girl, we need a prayer. We need a prayer. Sorry. Okay. Yes, they do really tell on themselves. Shout out to everybody who's watching. It's good to see you. Hit the like button, share the live. Just 2 is wild to say. It's wild to say out your mouth. That's some Laura Ingraham stuff. Well, 15 is, but 14 could be mature. Okay. Okay, buddy. Sure. Tell that to the prosecutor. Pray to every god and deity you know. Throw in some patron saints, okay? Okay? Yes, I'm gonna pray to Veronica the prostitute and wipe the face and the feet of Jesus. Veronica girl. La petite. Hello? Veronica girl. Father God, it is us again. We have seen what you have done to and for others. Whew. So they're facing, at least in the region of 20 years, potentially life in prison in the UK. It makes me so excited. It really does. Okay. Andrew Tate speaks and posts online unabashedly about his possession of multiple passports and identities, his and his brother's excessive and hidden wealth, as well as their purported influence over foreign authorities. He claims to have previously escaped the law on numerous occasions and has unapologetically declared his intent to do so again in the future. Andrew Tate has publicly stated, "You can't ban me from driving. I have 9 licenses. You can't freeze my passport. I have 4. You can't take my money. It's everywhere. It takes international cooperation to slow me down, and that's rare." So, Andrew, when you say it takes international cooperation to slow you down, does 3 countries uniting on one docket count? Rhetorical question. Why do you think your ass is in a jail cell right now in Florida in August? Bet. I don't know how you say bet in Romanian, but they all said bet. Bet. It takes international cooperation to slow me down, and that's rare. Andrew Tate posted online on December 21, 2019. I have 5 passports. I also changed my name legally in 3 of the countries so that my passports all have completely different names. These people are so stupid. We just had this conversation yesterday. Why are these people so stupid? Why are people so stupid? He really said, I double dog dare y'all. And they said, we'll take that and raise you a dog, dog. Pride cometh before the fall, Mr. Tate. Some ask and ye shall receive type ish. Pride cometh before the fall. Mans said. We literally just, I'm like, I feel bad because I'm going to start repeating what I literally said, I don't know, 12 hours ago. These people are stupid. Okay? They're stupid. Oh, God. I also changed my name legally in 3 of the countries so that my passports all have completely different names. I have had warrants out for my arrest and travel freely. I am smarter than you. I am above the law. The self-snitching continues. This man is an idiot. Because how else are people supposed to know how cool they are if they don't brag about it? That's like, oh boy, going on trial for Tupac. Wouldn't nobody know nothing if you hadn't told everybody and they dead mama I killed Tupac. And now you mad they selecting a jury. I don't understand. Help me understand. I do understand. I broke it down last night. Everything I said last night applicable to this. I am above the law. He has also claimed on social media that he possesses passports from Estonia, Nigeria, Poland, the UK, and the US, and that he has 4 more that he has never publicly disclosed. There is some evidence that Tristan Tate likewise maintains multiple identities and passports under false names. Okay? UK authorities have discovered an online post containing a photo of a Mexican passport bearing Tristan Tate's photograph and date of birth, but issued under the name Vladimir Scorpius. How dare you? How fucking dare you? Vladimir Scorpius? You motherfucker. I know I need a new boo. I need a longer, more vicious booing with jeering, potentially some hissing. Because what the hell? Luna Lemon 11, hello, beautiful. Good to see you. We've got over 70 beautiful people in here. I hope you all have hit the like button. Mods, if you could get those links in rotation, I'd appreciate it. Now, wait a minute. That name sounds suspicious. No shit, beloved. This is what happens when you are playing in people's faces and you do think that you are above the law. You get a fake passport from Mexico with the name Vladimir Scorpius. I don't even know how you're getting through customs with that. I really don't. I really don't. I know names are different everywhere, okay? Names are different everywhere. I don't know how you getting through customs anywhere on the goddamn planet with a passport that says Vladimir Scorpius and you look like this. He's the one in the suit. Vladimir Scorpius? I feel like this is the villain name in an AI produced Russian language you know, Propo. Dungeons and Dragons ass name. I rest my case. He's the anime villain that explains his powers in detail, including the weaknesses. Then he goes, impossible. When they exploit the weakness he elaborated on. Just unbelievable. I was looking at what I could see because, I refused to log into X, but what I could see on social media, I was looking at both of their recent posts. Tristan is not so much trying to appear to be posting from jail, but Andrew definitely is. Everything from, the basic, this is unjust type vibes to, I am your king, follow me into battle and watch me not get broken by them. I will win. Motherfucker, you about to lose this shit. I don't want to tell you. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a pro tip, bro. You said it's your standard, sir. It's your standard. It is going to require international cooperation to take me down. That's what you said. Now we got 3 countries on one docket saying, yeah, Red Rover his ass right on over. We'll take him. And then if you get anything less than life in the UK, when that's done, you're gonna go to jail in Romania. Jesus, let these men spend the rest of their days in prison. Jesus. Jesus. Hey, good to see you. Vladimir Scorpius. I am fucking offended at the stupid. Importantly, the UK has also uncovered evidence corroborating Tristan Tate's connection to that name, including an online video in which Tristan Tate declares while standing on a ship, I'm Captain Vladimir Scorpius. I fucking do. The deadpan of a legal filing is just, I didn't even see it coming. I didn't even see it coming. They said, we have found, importantly, the UK has also uncovered evidence corroborating Tristan Tate's connection to that name, including an online video. The thoughts that are going through my head as I'm reading this sentence, let me fill you in. Importantly, the UK also uncovered evidence, me. Oh, interesting. I wonder what it is. Corroborating Tristan Tate's connection to that name. Okay, so they've come up with a connection. I wonder what the connection is, including an online video. Huh, interesting. What's in the video? In which Tristan Tate declares while standing on a ship, I am Captain Vladimir Scorpius, and his registration as a director of a UK company called Scorpius Ltd. I'm I don't think I'm not gonna make it, chat. He ain't gonna get to that Romanian prison until he goes through a UK prison. And he could be in a UK prison for the rest of his natural life. Okay? He can be buried in Romania. Even better. Cherry on top. Ready? In case there was any question as to whether or not Mexico, the government, actually issued that passport, Mexican officials communicated to United States law enforcement that they are unable to find a record of ever having issued a passport in the name Vladimir Scorpius. Now, Jamie, you see what happens when you connect yourself to your sister's hijinks? Do you see? Why would you create an alias to hide your identity and then confirm your alias is you? Oh, God. These men, boy. I just want to get that one paragraph off just cleanly, and then we're going to move on. There is some evidence that Tristan likewise maintains multiple identities and passports under false names. UK authorities have discovered an online post containing a photo of a Mexican passport bearing Tristan's photograph and date of birth, but issued under the name Vladimir Scorpius. Importantly, the United Kingdom also uncovered evidence corroborating Tristan's connection to that name, including an online video in which Tristan Tate declares while standing on a ship, "I'm Captain Vladimir Scorpius," and his registration as a director of a UK company called Scorpius Ltd. Mexican officials communicated to the United States law enforcement that they are unable to find a record of ever having issued a passport in the name Vladimir Scorpius. Based on its investigation, UK authorities also believe that the Tates both have passports from Vanuatu. The UK reports that it has been largely unsuccessful tracing the Tate's travel movements. In particular, UK authorities have not successfully received travel alerts for the Tate's true passports, even though authorities know from social media that the Tates have been traveling. UK authorities suspect that the Tates may be traveling on unknown passports in their possession. In addition to possibly maintaining identity documents for multiple countries in different names, the Tates have also publicly discussed how they used those documents to evade law enforcement. On August 12th, 2020, Andrew Tate wrote a post on social media about being on the run from French and German police. In his post, which contained a photograph of himself on a train, he stated, "Objective 1 is always to escape the hot zone. French and German police after me on 2 different names. Heading to East Europe, where my connections keep me above the law. Stage 1 is a 6-hour train to escape German borders." No. Pooh Shiesty is still the dumbest motherfucker. Pooh Shiesty is still the dumbest criminal of 2026, period. He's still the dumbest criminal of 2026. Nope, I'm sorry. I went back and rewatched that documentary last night after last night's live, and I was like, my God, this man is so fucking stupid. I mean, maybe they're neck and neck, but for now, I'm giving Pooh Shiesty the edge. But as we read each detail, I will give it to you that the Tates do move a little bit closer to breaking even and potentially, overcoming their opponent in this sad, pathetic little race of the dumbest criminals of 2026. Fucking mouth breathers. Andrew has also posted repeatedly about Spanish authorities, including August 29, 2021, when he said, "Imagine respecting a Spanish court. That just shows you don't have your life in order. There's 8 different Andrews. The war room. I got 8 lives, 8 licenses and passports." Andrew Tate wrote on social media the next day, "If you can't think fuck the law, then you don't have fuck you money, bribes, cash bail, expensive lawyers, fines. It doesn't matter. As long as you have money, the problem vanishes. The law only punishes broke people." On August 31, 2022, day after that, he wrote, "The face you make when you tried to do a simple car rally and end up with 3 court cases. Fuck the Spanish, leaving Marbella in protest. They don't deserve my money. Paella eating losers. Fueling the jet. Next stop, ... Additional samplings of Andrew Tate's declarations of being above the law and expressing the need for an escape plan are contained in Annex A of Exhibit 1. Since at least February 2025, when the travel restrictions were lifted against them in Romania, the Tates have declined to voluntarily appear in the UK to face prosecution. Meanwhile, from afar, they have pursued their quest for the identities of the victims in the UK matter. I spoke about this, how they had taken legal action in the UK. Before we get to that, footnote. April 24, 2021, Andrew Tate posted, I'm untouchable because I've spent a decade spreading myself into many grids. I can be in another country under a different name with a penthouse and 300,000 if things go bad. You don't need to be at the extreme level I am, but you need an escape plan. Even you! Even you need an escape plan. Phase 1, escape the hot zone. The hot zone of your breath, mouth breather. These men, he literally says, okay, I started off this live by making it clear there are 3 countries that have united on the docket to keep these men in jail. And then we're reading through the documents, and there is literally a post from Andrew Tate saying something to the effect of, this is a very close paraphrase. It takes international cooperation to take me down. That's very rare. Yeah, bro, international cooperation to take you down is exactly why your dumb, narrow ass is sitting in a Florida jail in August right now. I spread myself into many grids. You need a plan, even you. Now, what did the paella do, child? Racist gonna racist. I don't know what to tell you. At least he's honest. You don't like the people, you don't get the benefit of the food. Shit, that should be a rule of racism and bigotry. You don't like Latinos? No Latino food for you. No Taco Tuesday. You can have a Swedish taco on Tuesday. How about that? Fish, no seasoning, steamed. Tomato, no salsa. Tomato. Cucumber, no Taco Tuesday for you. J.E. Tater, you need an escape plan. I'm in many grids. Meanwhile, normal people. Hey, man, how's it going? Would you look at that? Cooperation of the nations. Won't he do it? Child, I have spontaneously broken out into prayer a couple times during this live. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. God is good all the time, and all the time. That's right. God is good. Amen. 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 High five. I'm bulletproof. Whew. Unbelievable. Similar to Romania, the UK has also documented fears of witness intimidation. Specifically, the UK has explained all of the complainants in this case are vulnerable and in fear of Andrew and Tristan Tate because of the violence used towards them. Several of the complainants describe being assaulted and threatened with weapons, and because of the resources available to Andrew and Tristan Tate, and because of their propensity to intimidate vulnerable complainants. Andrew Tate's own words on social media demonstrate the broad-reaching tools the Tates have to engage in witness intimidation. According to the UK, on September 16, 2025, Andrew Tate posted on one of his X accounts, which he has more than 10 million followers at the time, photos of a male with text saying 10K reward for this man's identity and workplace. According to UK authorities, the post had almost 3 million views in less than 10 hours. These people are really fucking menaces to society. And let's also not forget that Elon Musk and his platform is a whole ass menace to society. It should be burned There should be no X. Period. The Tates are self-proclaimed billionaires who say they own high-end vehicles, private jets, and a custom $50 million super yacht and have unrestricted access to traditional funds, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin. The Tates' wealth is often publicly documented by their own videos and statements. For years, the Tates have appeared on podcasts boasting of their unrestricted access to money. For instance, in a 2024 post on X, Tristan Tate mocked people who doubted his wealth by posting blueprints of the super yacht he purchased. In a 2025 X post, Andrew Tate said, "When my super yacht is finished, I'm joining the flotilla." He's such a fucking idiot. As recently as July 14, right before he was arrested, Tristan Tate recorded a walkthrough of their super yacht where he detailed the progress made and custom finishings. Oh, they get a little boat built together. They can sail off together, chasing the disappearing sun. That's so sweet. They can get their little, you know, Rose and what's his name moment with, Andrew standing in the front, Tristan in the back, wrapped around him like Leo DiCaprio. Yeah. Tizzy, thank you so much for the support. Enjoying my lunchtime docket cackle. Thank you. You're welcome. I see what you did there. I'm actually not mad at it. You know what? They deserve all of it. I'm not mad at it. Now, let me be clear that I was differentiating. I know that I used that example in very close proximity, but yes. Che says, part of me, Latina, dies when people consider Spaniards Latino, not gonna lie. So I was making two separate points. They just happen to be very close together. But I understand and I agree. Playing My Heart Will Go On the kazoo in their honor. I know that's right. Absa, how long do you think it'll take before the Tates to claim they're broke and can't afford some of these legal fees? I just have this distinct feeling they live above their means. Oh, I think they live above their means, and I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors, and they're just full of shit. I think they put on a good front, but I don't think that they are nearly as rich as they say that they do. And one of the things that we have established is that celebrities be cash poor. They can be asset rich, but cash poor. And so when you're in prison, when you're in jail and then convicted of a crime, many of your assets get seized. It can become very difficult to liquidate them, period. But I was thinking about this last night and this morning because I had looked at this paperwork. I was thinking that Diddy's team has said his defense, the trial, remember he's still in appeal, but his defense for trial was between $8 and $10 million. Blake Lively, in her civil claim, wanted $8 million in attorney's fees. Both of those cases are domestic. One of them's criminal, the other one is civil. And they're at around the $8 to $10 million range for ultimately very straightforward things. This is an international case where you need lawyers who are experienced and potentially have the ability to practice law in more than one country. Those people are going to cost a lot of money, especially if you are finding lawyers or law firms that work in the United States and also work in the UK or Romania or vice versa. That's going to cost you a lot of money. And yes, you do have to pay the attorneys in cash. So I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about what we will learn about their actual financial means throughout these various proceedings. Okay. For everybody else who doesn't know. Yeah, they really want us to believe, that they got it like that, and they just have, umpteen this money, that money, da 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 da. First of all, I'm a firm believer that predators do move in flocks. And I think that predators, scratch each other's backs. And there are certain times and certain situations where, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. This is my opinion. Okay. It just is my opinion, but I am going to stick to it. And I know some people think, ah, ha, 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 so funny, but I am going to stick to it. I think one or both of these men are the equivalent of yacht rent boys. And I think that that's one of the ways that they make their money is that they have sugar daddies in various countries, particularly in Europe and Eastern Europe, who fund their lifestyle. But anyway, does that look like a billionaire to you? Better question. Why is a billionaire being paid to go and promote a low card boxing match in Florida if he is a billionaire? Could they really afford that fee for him to show up if he was a billionaire? You know that thing, what's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. The thing where you can pay to have celebrities like record little messages and stuff. What's that called? Hey, good to see you. I think it starts with a C, Candid or something. Cameo. I was close. This is the equivalent of an in-person cameo. If you are a billionaire and that highly sought after, some low local fight has enough money to pay you to be a part of the promo team, the math ain't mathin'. No, I don't think they're that rich. I think they grift, and I think they exchange favors, whether through their own physical or forcing women and apparently children to be the favor. Both and because a lot of people are going to see this and be like, ah, she's so funny. Ooh, risque. We had a live about this already. I made my opinion extremely clear. I do not think that these two have a normal relationship. Okay. I think their proximity and obsession with each other extends beyond what anybody else would consider to be a normal sibling relationship. I think they fuck each other. And I think they're going through extreme withdrawal in jail, which is why they're desperate to have their cases joined together so that they have a reason, a legal reason to be allowed to be together in jail with their lawyers to work on the case. Kiki says, I don't think they're even multimillionaires. I think they're 100,000aires. Their clothes are too cheap. Yeah, I don't think these men are billionaires. So when he says, I've got 300,000 hidden in such and such country, maybe 3,000, maybe even 30,000. But you getting paid to show up at a fight nobody gives a fuck about, to promo it with a very specific audience who you grift off of. That's not billionaire behavior. That's some hoe shit. I said what I said. Tate Island boys. Nevertheless, for years, the Tates have appeared on podcasts boasting of their unrestricted access to money. So again, they go through the whole super yacht, and he says, I'm joining the flotilla. I don't even know which flotilla he's fucking talking about, but apparently there's a flotilla. And in case you're wondering, I don't want to know. Tristan Tate recorded a walkthrough of their super yacht where he detailed the progress made and custom finishings. Baby, that's getting seized. That boat is getting seized. If you actually do own it, that boat is getting seized. A tour of just 70% of the new super yacht. Share this video and follow for a chance to win a ticket to the launch party. That was right before they got arrested. The Tates have appeared on CEO Cast, a purported entrepreneurial and lifestyle podcast where they explain how they live among the top percent of society. So fucking disgusting. The Tates started their careers as professional kickboxers. Since leaving professional sports, the Tates began a webcam pornography business in 2014, which expanded substantially after they relocated to Romania, growing to include dozens of women recruited through an agency called Model Stars. As the webcam business wound down, the Tates built an online education, that should have been in parentheses, business, becoming prominent as internet celebrities through courses, including Hustlers University, later relaunched as The Real World, and the secretive group The War Room. In August 2023, it was estimated that the Tate's online ventures generated $5 million in revenue monthly. I disagree, but hey. Andrew Tate's meme coin, Daddies, market capitalization is 7.55 million. Okay, there's a concrete number. The Tate's public presence comes with a heavily documented history of their lavish spending and access to money. They appear in video interviews, podcasts, and posts on their own social media accounts in which they claim that there is nothing left to buy. Each boasts of different luxuries, including diamond encrusted jewelry, luxury car collections, for example, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and McLaren, and elite aviation choices. Andrew Tate detailed that he made his millions in an interview with Anthony Pompliano in 2022. Tristan Tate detailed his 2.1 million Aston Martin and 5 and 7 million Bugattis in a self-recorded video posted on the Real World School's Facebook page. If those vehicles are under lease, I promise you, I'm going to pass out. Because I'm going to laugh so hard, I'm going to pass out. Okay, so here they go through a bunch of the legal standards. We talked about this in our last live, looking at documents. A fugitive may not be released on bail unless he demonstrates that he is neither a flight risk nor a danger to the community, and special circumstances warrant his release. The special circumstances inquiry is separate from considerations of danger to the community or risk of flight. Even a low risk of flight is not a circumstance sufficiently unique to constitute a special circumstance. They're a flight risk, they're a danger to the community, and they have no special circumstance. The Tate should not be released on bond because they cannot show that they pose no danger to the community. The alleged conduct underlying the charged offenses and their conduct while on prior supervised release clearly demonstrate that they should remain detained. Then they point out, because again, they're going through these pillars of a requirement to grant, bond or release. So they're going through and talking about the UK charges that underpin this extradition proceeding involved violent and dangerous behavior. We've already been through that. It's forcible assaults, rendering people unconscious to intimately assault them, and so on and so forth. And then again, as they're just arguing dangerousness, right? They again go through the threatening behavior against victims while detained and on release in Romania, which we've already talked about. The fact that they are self-proclaimed flight risks. Andrew Tate has stated online that he has 7 different passports and 15 driver's licenses, so that if he is stopped by the authorities, he can pull out a license from some random country to prevent authorities from determining his true identity. He has also posted about having changed his name in multiple countries to avoid detection and has repeatedly declared himself above the law. He has continually advised his online followers to obtain multiple passports under aliases, spread their money across different countries, and change their names to avoid detection. It also appears that Tristan Tate may have a fraudulent Mexican passport under an alias's name. The UK's inability to successfully track the Tate's whereabouts, it appears that their use of fraudulent passports has, at least partially, accomplished its purpose of preventing law enforcement from determining their whereabouts that are not otherwise posted on social media. Footnote: while the Tates have attempted to dismiss some of these statements as hearsay, they fail to acknowledge that hearsay is permissible in extradition proceedings. Case law. Your Honor, if you'd like to watch the video of these biscuit heads talking out the sides of their neck, you can find it at this link. To the extent the Tates claim that public social media posts documenting their current locations are indicative of their willingness to appear at these extradition proceedings, they are mistaken. That's a gentle way of putting it. First, they could stop posting about their locations at any time. Second, the calculation of flight risk changed after the Tates were arrested in the United States and were informed that the UK had dozens of charges against them that carry a possible penalty of 20 years to life imprisonment. Footnotes are amazing. They have both mocked, ev- um, they have both publicly mocked and evaded the UK proceedings as early or as recent as March of this year, which Andrew Tate calls the UK a joke and total clowns, and a video that appears to be from March 2026, in which he brags about never getting extradited and urging the UK to come get him in Hong Kong. The Tates have not only demonstrated an intent to flee, but they have also repeatedly espoused their wealth, solidifying their means to flee. The Tates are self-proclaimed billionaires. I love how they put billionaires in italicized. You want to be big and bad? Okay, we're going to give you credit for being big and bad. Oh, you a billionaire? Okay. We going to tell everybody then that you a billionaire. Mwah. In response to the government's assertions that the Tates have significant financial resources to fund their flight, meaning flight from justice, not an airplane, but I mean, probably, but flight from justice. The Tates attempt to push the burden to establish their wealth back on the government without denying the government's assertions. It is not the government's burden to establish that release from custody is warranted, and the Tates have failed to meet their burden by declining to propose a bail package for the court's consideration because they can't afford one. At least Diddy was like, I'll put up this, I'll sell this house. You can have, did he say $50 million? Am I wrong? I feel like Diddy at one point in time said something to the effect of, "You can have $50 million. I will give you my passports, you can take my plane." He put up said he would put up an absurd amount of cash. And a couple other things, "You can take my house." The Tates didn't even put up a package to propose of what they would put up as collateral for their release. The posts are still up unless one of their staff took it down, in which case, arguably, that's obstruction of justice. But they put in there with the links and stuff the last time. I might not read it out here as I'm reading this, but in it where the government is citing something public, they not only list when it was posted, but they list the last time they looked at it. So that link that they posted about a video, they have a note in there about when the government last checked that link for that video. So again, do we think these men are billionaires? They can't even put up a package to say, "We are billionaires. We'll give you a billy cash. We will give you all of our passports. You can put us on." That was another thing. Diddy said, "You can ankle monitor me." Diddy was like, "I will do anything and everything I can to get out of jail." And they're just like, "You need to let us out. This isn't fair. Let us out." But they offered no proposed package to the court. No terms that, and you don't have to do that, but you should. You should. Just be yapping says, "If I somehow happen to make it out of a Romanian jail, I'd shut the fuck up and go sit my ass down somewhere." Oh, no, 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 beloved. Oh, no, 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 no. I think that's because you fail to have an arrogant penis. Okay? You might have a penis. I'm just saying. Arguably. It's not arrogant enough, okay? You don't have a plan. Even you. So, without a proposed bond package, the court has limited ability to assess whether a bond can be crafted in a manner that ensures the amount of the bond meaningfully influences the Tate's willingness to participate in these extradition proceedings. And if you've got money in all other countries and you're not willing to give up the money that you have in the United States, and you probably can't do that, right? Because if you really are diversifying under fraudulent names and you're doing that in the United States of America, you can't tell the government how much money that you have because then you'd have to tell them where it is. And then that would identify additional aliases. So you're fucked. It's what do you have in your bank account under your name? What assets do you have under your name or a company that you control? And that company is not evidence of crimes. Do you see how they put themselves in a pickle? If you're not keeping the assets under your name or under a company that you control that is not in the fuckery, then baby, you ain't got no money for the purposes of this. You can't propose 100 million 500 million, a billy, you can't propose shit because you don't have anything. You can't put up the cars because they're probably being leased. You in a Florida jail. Florida man. Oops. They say they couldn't flee because they're so recognizable. Floral forestry fairy. Well, my plan is to not be an international fugitive. You know what, beloved? That's a good plan. You should stick to that. That seems like a solid plan for you. I love that for you. I'm gonna say the same. That's my plan. Now, sometimes, shit goes off the rails, but at least my intention. So we already talked about this. They failed to establish special circumstances. Also, in another footnote, they say the court should not be influenced whatsoever by Romania's decision to put them on supervised release outside of jail, and that again, um, that wound up not going well, right? Because allegedly they started intimidating and trying to bribe witnesses. Without citing any law, the Tates argue that the UK is improperly seeking to jump the line in front of Romania by now seeking their extradition from the United States. This argument is flawed for multiple reasons. The argument ignores the reality that as of July 2026, the Tates are facing new UK charges that are not the subject of any extradition order in Romania or elsewhere, and that will form, at least in part, the basis of the instant extradition request. Moreover, while the UK's January 2024 charges form the basis of the UK's prior extradition request to Romania, the Tates do not point to any legal authority that this fact precludes the UK from pursuing their extradition elsewhere. They also do not present any evidence that the UK violated any agreement or order from Romania in seeking extradition from the United States. To the contrary, the Romanian authorities have submitted 2 letters to assist in the instant US UK extradition proceedings. However, even if there were a breach of misunderstanding between the UK and Romania, of which there is no evidence, any such breach would have no bearing on the United States' independent treaty obligations to the United Kingdom under the extradition treaty. That would be a diplomatic matter between the UK and Romania, which has no bearing on the US proceedings. But even if this were relevant, the Tate's argument is based exclusively on foreign policy considerations that belong to the discretion of the Secretary of State. So they're just going through and knocking down everything that the Tates try and argue in their request for release without citing any fucking case law. Trust me, bro. Um, they're just knocking down each of the arguments like in triplet. It's not, but even if it was, but it's for damn sure not. They're doing that, right? They're also trying to say that, well, they could get bail in the UK, and this is the United States saying that ain't got shit to do with shit in America. Okay. You can understand why it is I didn't read you the Tate's filing because it's nonsensical, it's plain in your face, and it's lazy. And it's super performative. Like, I don't know if these lawyers are telling them that they are rigorously, fighting to get their clients out. They're certainly representing that in the press. But if you are putting together a motion for bail with no bail package and claims outside of any case law, you're not fucking serious about getting your client out of jail. I'm not even a lawyer and I know that. What you are serious is about the performance of looking like you're trying to get your client out of jail. Now, whether that's for the benefit of your client's audience or whether that's for the benefit of your client so that they will pay you millions of dollars, I don't know. But it's shoddy work. Damn. The Tates exaggerate their conditions of confinement, which in any event do not constitute special circumstances. Yes. Andrew Tate in particular is all over social media bitching about, you know, the conditions in which they are being held, which I don't think I need to say anything more than they're in jail in Florida in August. Oh, and now they've just started referring to them as the fugitives. Currently, the Tates have been placed in the special housing unit for their safety and the safety of the institution. Their classification and housing placement is not outside of Bob's statutory authority. Because they are bitching about that. I did see that on social media. They only keep killers in here. Why are we in here? This is punitive punishment. Notwithstanding, here, the fugitives allege that their confinement is unreasonable by falsely claiming that they have been denied basic needs and access to their legal counsel. The Tates have been provided with suitable, reasonable housing. They have been provided with adequate sleeping arrangements, food and access to water, the ability to order and obtain basic and extra supplies, recreation time, the opportunity to receive social visits, access to phone calls, and the opportunity to visit with their attorneys, often twice a day. Tristan, I believe it was Tristan who posted something on online about lock up Dr. Fauci and send him down to Florida to be his cellmate because he's bored and he wants somebody to talk to. These men are unserious about the circumstance that they're in. And they might have been kikiing and laughing their asses off yesterday, or at least trying to give the appearance that none of this is bothering them. But the mere fact that they are desperate to have their cases joined so that they can actually be in a closed room with each other with just their lawyers and no guards so that they can work on the case sometimes twice a day suggests they're not doing too good. And who would? It's fucking jail. It sucks. And when you go from having an overinflated sense or experience of liberty and no accountability, it's probably doubly, if not triply, jarring to your system to then be incarcerated. Like the withdrawals of just the withdrawals of your liberty, and then the withdrawal of you spend damn near 24 hours a day with your lover, brother, brother. I'd say they're not doing too well, but that's just my opinion. You want some liver with a nice Chianti, some fava beans? Not only do the Tates have access to basic needs and care, but they also have been given dispensations that others similarly housed do not have. For example, FDC Miami granted their request for joint meetings with their attorneys. No, I did not read this document before we read it together. Did they grant your little request for joint meetings? Oh, ain't that sweet? You guys can sit there together and hold hands. Ain't that lovely? I'm so happy for you. I agree with this 1000%. So, FDC Miami granted their request for joint meetings with their attorneys rather than the one on one meetings usually attended by other inmates. Moreover, the Tates have been given special exemptions and considerations as to commissary that are not available to other inmates in the SHU because their placement there is administrative rather than disciplinary. As a result, the Tate's reliance on specific case law is misplaced. In that case, a fugitive, the former president of Peru, was held in a county jail in SHU like housing, where he was held in a small cell for all but an hour every 2 days, about which a staff psychiatrist at the jail opined had created a decline in the fugitive's mental health. But these factors are not present in this case. The Tates are consistently allowed out of their cells for hours on almost a daily basis for recreational time and to hold joint meetings with their attorneys. There is also no evidence that continued solitary confinement has resulted or would result in the Tate's mental decline, nor do they allege as much because they couldn't allege mental decline because they're tough. They're tougher than you. They're tougher than everybody. They can't be broken. Remember? You can't break me. Well, then sit your little bitch ass down and shut the fuck up. You were in jail in Romania. You can't handle Florida? While FDC Miami is not a Marriott, the Tate's conditions of confinement are reasonable, constitutional, and within BOP's discretion. Therefore, they do not constitute a special circumstance here. Citing case law that finding that unpleasant prison conditions do not entitle a defendant to be granted bail in extradition proceedings. The potential duration of the extradition proceedings also do not warrant release. The Tates assert that they should be released from custody because they may be subject to a lengthy period of detention while they await the submission of the UK's extradition request and subsequently litigate against extradition. Well, we know when it's coming. It's coming on the 16th of next month. What they're saying is this does not reach the bar of being an unusually long delay. It's not. Oh, and then also they are also delaying some things with their motions and everything. So the government also points out that any delay caused by or attributed to the Tates definitely cannot be used to form the basis of a special circumstance of being in jail too long. You the one filing all the shits. You the one saying we need more time. You the one delaying for this, that, and the other. It's on the document. You all are the ones requesting these delays, not the government, not the UK. You are. You could waive extradition and just get your ass on a plane and go to the UK. You could sit in jail there. You're not getting out of jail. The government is prepared to proceed expeditiously upon receipt of the formal extradition request from the UK, which again, we learned in this document is coming next month. The Tates also raised some alleged probable cause issues, and the government is saying until we have the UK's full packet submitted, it's premature to be talking about anything that could be related to probable cause. There's no urgency, and urgency is something that is legally defined. So, again, this is just the United States knocking everything down in a very forceful way. For the foregoing reasons, the United States requests that both Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate be detained pending resolution of the extradition proceeding. And as I said, we don't need to go through this whole thing because we got the gist of it. But on or about the 24th of last month, Romania sent a statement over, and they do include, of course, because this is not in English. They do include it in a copy in English. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. Legal, 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 legal. So they sent that on the 24th. And then 2-3 days later, they sent something else that said, "We just wanna clarify, okay? We just wanna clarify, um, about we want to add some clarifications about what we said in our first letter, which could give you the appearance that we don't have any concerns about the Tate brothers. We have concerns about the Tate brothers. We're charging them with interfering with witnesses and victims, and we've been investigating them for some time for doing that." So they did that, and then the UK yesterday, the same day that this was filed, also put a more detailed a document with a bit more detail on the docket. I'm not going to read it right now because next month we're going to read the full package when they file it. But they have in here, the UK has in here some of Tristan, I mean, well, some of the Tate's statements. December 13, 2019. You need a bug out spot. The fuck is a bug out spot? Is that a place where you go and have a fucking meltdown because you're being chased by law enforcement? Is that a bug out spot? You need a bug out spot and a second passport and a bank nobody knows about. Get foreign income and property and passports and driver's licenses. You can't freeze my passport. I have 4. And this goes through things that they have collected from accounts that Andrew and Tristan have since gotten rid of. May 2020, I can hide out in Japan with money on a USB stick. Cook Islands forever? Cool, motherfucker, I wish you would, but you definitely cannot hide out in Japan with money on a USB stick. That is not the place to go. Get 5 passports, 5 driver's licenses, then change your name in a few countries so you have legit passports. Don't be lazy, it's essential. Oh, and then here we go again with objective 1 is to always escape the hot zone. That's where he's like, French and German police are after me on 2 different names. Heading to East Europe where my connections keep me above the law. So that goes back to my for funsies theory of how it is that these men make their money as island rent boys or those who sell other people against their will. Or both. We really don't need to pick one or the other. I do think it's both. So yeah, the that's what's going on. The Vladimir Scorpius. I don't even know what to say, chat. So what do you think? Do you think? Okay. Do you think that Andrew and Tristan Tate, they get to reply to the government's response? Okay. We're not gonna read it because it's gonna be full of caca, but they procedurally, what happens next? They get to respond to what the government has said here, and then a judge. I don't know if there's gonna be a hearing or if it's gonna be decided on their papers, but eventually a judge is going to make a decision. Actually, I think there might be a hearing on bail, if I'm remembering the docket correctly, but I look at a lot of them. Okay, so I could be misremembering. Either way, you think they're getting out? Hmm? 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 You might as well say you're gonna go to Singapore so they can cane you and extradite you. Okay, knock yourself out, buddy. Okay, so video game type jargon because that's what these cosplaying ass motherfuckers are trying to tap into. Got it. You don't know that. You don't know that. See, Audra said, to be fair, Romanian jails don't have a Florida man. You don't know that. It's a Florida man. There could definitely be a Florida man in jail in Romania right now. Would it surprise me? Not in the least bit. You don't know that? Don't limit them. Don't limit Florida men. Rude. No vision. Anomaly says, I hope not, but in this timeline, who knows? You got 3 countries who have united against you on the docket for an international case. Diddy couldn't get out on a domestic case. And he said, I'll give you $50 million. You can take my passports. You can take my family's passports. You can take my staff's passports. You can put cameras in my house. I'll hire private security to report to the court. Like, you can take my plane. You can have this and the other. And he tried it more than once and appealed and lost. He tried repeatedly to put together a bond package to get out. Chud just got out. He had to put together 10 different bail bonds, bail bonds companies, because nobody was willing to go over $100,000 worth of liability. You definitely gonna fuck up in some kind of way. It took him months to put those packages together and for a court to say, okay, this meets everything. We'll let you out pending trial. Diddy couldn't get out. These motherfuckers are not getting out. Diddy had just the US government saying he is a flight risk. He's a danger to the community. There's general dangerousness, right? Then they have all these statements. The statements from these men are crazy. Here's how I plan to evade the law. Here's how I plan to flee justice. Step 1. I mean, it just... Here's where I have people who have probably more money than me and more connections with me and the governments in their respective countries, and that's where I'm gonna go hang out because we all traffic women together or pass ass together, and they'll help me. You're not getting out. I don't think they're gonna see the light of day ever again. Now, there is a possibility that they could beat these cases in the UK. It's happened before. And the UK system is not like the system here. So that could happen. But if they lose, they're looking at 20-something years to life. And then even if they don't get life and they get released, they got to go to face courts in Romania. They have the end of the life they fucking deserve. Yeah, Chud's out as of yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how they really fully did this to themselves. They put all the statements out themselves about their intentions. They if we take their word on face value, they intentionally keep assets out of their names and in other countries, including cash, vehicles, homes, and so forth. So, you don't have the assets in your own name in this country to put together a bail package for a judge to say, "Okay, I'm willing to let you out." Diddy said 50,000,000, they said no. So, I don't think he's gonna get out of jail pending the extradition proceedings. I think a federal judge is gonna look at the totality, first of all, of their statements alone, that one of them probably has a fraudulent passport, that they have probably had to break the law or mislead several countries in order to get the alleged passports that they have now. No judge worth their bench or their robe or their gavel is gonna be like, "I trust him, it'll be fine." No, it will not. It will not be fine. Pooh Shiesty bribed somebody, more than one somebody, who was supposed to be monitoring him while he was on an ankle monitor out of jail, and he was tossing their salad to look the other way so he could go commit robberies and do drugs and shit. But they're supposed to trust these biscuit head ass men outside of a jail? I don't think so. I just don't think that that is what is going to happen. I think it's a mixed bag. Do you know what I mean? As I said earlier, predators do move in flocks and like attracts like. And just by the mere, substance of the business that they were involved in, which was cam girls, which then perpetuates trafficking. You look at the network of JE, excuse me, and Donald Trump and the various men and the modeling agencies and all of the things that funneled women to JE. This is that, except for it's Cersei and Jamie, the siblings who need to be close to each other at least twice a day, or they start crying in jail. I'm guessing. Well, For Anomaly asks, do you think they might have mystery accidents in their cells before they can blab, or are they not important enough? You think they don't have anything to turn over that is going to get them out of jail? They don't have anything to proffer. Nothing. They don't have anything to proffer to get them out of jail. So the reason why they're being held where they're being held within the jail is so that nothing happens to them. The uh government said, and according to, again, the Bureau of Prisons facility that is holding them, they are being kept where they are being kept in the facility for their safety and the safety of the entire fucking institution, because these are psychotic white nationalists who aren't even white in a jail. I'm gonna say it again, in Florida in August. They do not want to take any risks on either side of the spectrum. They don't want to take the risk of there potentially being fanboys in Gen Pop, right? Who spark some shit because they're fanboying over the Tates. Alternatively, they don't want the white crew in jail or the black crew in jail in Gen Pop to see these biscuit head ass motherfuckers because it will set some shit off. These are white nationalists who are not white. I wouldn't want them in the Gen Pop of my prison either. You complicated and you messy. You complicated, you messy, it's hot, it's Florida. I ain't got time to take no risks for you pissing off people who have already been here long before you. We're not doing that. I needed a visual, okay, to clarify what I think of these siblings' relationship. If you've never seen Game of Thrones, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You don't even have to have seen Game of Thrones to know or to quickly understand the kind of relationship that Cersei and Jamie had in this damn show. So, the Timu Island boys. So, yeah, this will be interesting. You know, as I said, the government will file its response. Let me look at a couple things. Is this the Tate docket? Yes, it is. So they put all of everything that we read about is on the docket. They've put, let me refresh this in case there's been anything happened since. The letters that we glanced at, the videos that were referenced, a bunch of X posts, and then they did a whole you know, document of a timeline of posts. They put in their commissary receipts. Oh, this is how I know these motherfuckers are fucking each other. I'm sorry. They are literally having the same meals together from the commissary. Tristan Tate, all season chips. Andrew Tate, all season chips. Tristan Tate, bowl with a lid. Andrew Tate, bowl with a lid. Tristan Tate, chili ramen noodle soup. Andrew Tate, chili ramen noodle soup. Hold on, let me screenshot this. You won't be able to see all of the details, but nevertheless, I'll show it to you for funsies. Oh, no. That's all I have to say. If you're like, girl, what'd you say? No. Clear thermal mug. Clear thermal mug. Colombian coffee. Colombian coffee. Doritos, spicy sweet chili. Doritos, spicy sweet chili. Heavy spoon. Heavy spoon. Legal canary tablet. Legal canary tablet. Low sodium ramen. Low sodium ramen. Men's speed stick. Men's speed stick. Ramen roast chicken. Ramen roast chicken. Snickers bar. Snickers bar. Turkey and Swiss combo stick. Turkey and Swiss combo stick. Twix. Shampoo, conditioner, body items. Shampoo, conditioner, body items. Nessa Moon says only one Snickers. More often than not, you will find that commissary has a limit on how many things you can get at one time in totality, and then how many of a thing you can get at one time. So I could only get the sad little regular size, little poverty peasant regular size Snicker bar. Snicker bar. They couldn't even get the jumbo king size, the good kind. Nope, they got the peasant little 3-bite and it's gone. Mm-hmm. King Link says they shared that Snickers like spaghetti in Lady and the Tramp. These motherfuckers are placing the exact same commissary orders. 3 minutes apart from each other. 4 minutes. Tristan placed his order at 13:22:34. Andrew placed his order at 13:26:24. Receipt number 16 for Tristan. Receipt number 17 for Andrew. I don't know what other evidence you need, but this feels pretty fucking strong to me. Wow, what an odd detail to put on the docket. What an odd detail. That wasn't even what I was looking for. I wasn't even looking for that. I was looking for something else entirely. I was looking for like dates and stuff. Maybe they don't get to respond to the government. Maybe they don't get to reply to the government's response. I don't think they do. So here's where we are in the sequence of events. They needed to file their motion for release by the 5th. They did that. The government has to respond by the 10th. That was yesterday. We just read that. Hearing on detention or release is in 2 days, on the 13th at 1 p.m. And either from the bench or shortly, or either from the bench or sometime thereafter, the judge will render their decision on whether or not to grant them bond and what the conditions will be for that. They're gonna lose. Jacob said, I'm shooting ice water out of my nose. Y'all gotta stop, child. You need to go to I don't know if you were there, but last night's live when we had a conversation about Drake and his squeaky pants, it will take you out. It was a good time. You will laugh. You will probably laugh until you cry. I was struggling to hold it together. I'm really proud of myself because I did hold it together, because that was before we got to the main topic. And I was like, if I laugh the way that I feel in my body, we're not gonna make it to the main topic. That's not gonna happen. So if you want some extra giggles, knock yourself out. Oh yeah, there's a sister. There's a whole family. Yeah, go replay that one after this. I believe that you will enjoy it. All right, good people. I gotta go. Right on time. Good time with you all today. We'll see what else happens on dockets. Okay. I may see you again today. I may not. We'll see. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Don't let these biscuit heads get to you. And yeah, if you missed last night's live, it's called Who Killed Tupac. The first 20 minutes, half hour, you will laugh until you cry. You're welcome. I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Peace.